All right, well, we are officially live. Welcome to the Kerner Heights Church Youth, KHC Youth live stream. This is the first time we've ever done this. Hopefully you've joined us or your friends have joined us. We're going to get into a game here. So we're going to start. If you've ever seen Jimmy Fallon, there's a skit that he does called Box of Lies, and he takes a box, and there's a barrier in between them, and he's describing something, and he's either lying or telling the truth, and that's for you to decide whether we're lying or telling the truth. So we have some items on a stool down here that you can't see, and we are going to either tell lies or truth about it, and you have to guess whether we are lying or telling the truth. So you can comment what you think if we're lying or telling the truth, either way. So make sure you're commenting. Also, let us know that you're here. Just say hi in the comment section. That would be great. I'm going to actually... There, now we can see what's going on here. So, we're live. We're going to be describing some things and either telling the truth or not telling the truth. It's up to you to guess whether we're telling the truth or not. So, let's start with... Kyle, why don't you start describing our mystery object?
So we have it's a cube, a like three-dimensional cube. It is blue. That's what I'm going to give you so far.
Yeah, three-dimensional cube and blue. So those are the two things we have so far. So remember, if you have any questions, make sure you comment those. Make sure you're asking those on the chat. So this item also can be plugged in. It can be plugged in, but it only lights up. That's the only thing that it does. That's the only thing it's able to do. So let's see. How else could we describe this item?
What would you say it feels like? What would you say, DJ?
I would say it's squishy. It's not like a pillow squishy, but it's almost like one of those foam stress ball things. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. If you prefer to describe it that way, I think that's the best way to describe it. So make sure you're commenting and letting us know whether you think we are lying or telling the truth. And I tell you what, I'm trying to get up the comments here so I can even see if you guys are commenting. This is take one. Remember, so if you were watching on Sunday morning, you saw our take one that maybe wasn't very good. So hopefully we only have to do a take one and we don't have to try this again at a later date here. So again, comment, let us know if you think we are lying or telling the truth. Again, we know this item is a three-dimensional sphere. Was that right?
No, cube.
Cube, sorry. It is blue, and it is like a stress ball-esque type of thing. So let us know whether you think we are lying or telling the truth. Let us know what you think. Not seeing any comments yet, but like I said, I'm still trying to get this to load here, so I will just give me a second as we get warmed up, I guess is the right way to say that. It's probably because I have one bar. There, now I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. Okay, let's try this again. You want to go one more time, Kyle, and go over... Oh, let's see. They're asking what color it is, so it's blue. It is not a night light. That's close. It says, your pants are on fire, says USMB Youth. So, all right. Well, should we tell them? Okay, so go ahead and comment true or lie. Comment either one of those words, true or lie. We want to know what you think, and we will bring out the object, and we'll figure out, or you'll figure out whether it is true or whether it's a lie. So go ahead and comment what you think.
So who do we got responding right now?
So far responding, we have Eric Bontrager. USMB Youth is loving the fireplace behind us. So, we got to stay nice and warm on this freezing cold day that we've had in Newton, Kansas. Zach is on. There are other people on, but there are people who are not commenting. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and bring this blue, squishy...
Thing that plugs in.
Thing that plugs in. Yes, we forgot about that one. This is the item, ladies and gentlemen. This is the item right here. To be honest with you, I don't know what this is. I think it's from a game.
Not a game I've played.
Not a game I've played. I don't know. Eric says lie, and Eric, you are correct. So this was a lie.
Eric.
So I really don't know. Madison's brother told me what this is. Does it turn on? Nope. Oh. Lights up. That's scary. Okay.
It's a bomb.
All right, we're going to move on to the next one. What should we do next? What do you think?
I don't know. One of these?
Yeah, sure. So these are, it's two nuns. So it's like nuns. Let's see. So Nuns is in like religious officials in the Catholic Church, and they are tied together by a chain, and they are miniature, smallish, and well, I guess the best way to describe them would be that they're nunchucks. I think nunchucks would be the best way to describe what this is. So, you can kind of whip them around and hit yourself. Volleyball Queen 2.0 says, "Hi, Zienna." Eric Bontrager says, "Oh, that's Hannah." Well, hey, Hannah. Maddie Groves is on. Rain is on. Uh-oh. We got some people commenting Rain. Now. So Zach says Zach and Lawnmower are both on. And Rain said, "Kyle, that's a terrible shirt."
It's amazing.
We're repping today. Hi from Zienna. All right. Well, we are gonna. Should we keep describing it, or should we ask him to tell if we're lying or telling the truth?
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I would say that it could be held in your hands. We're not talking like full size nunchucks. Like we're talking. He said miniature,
right?
So, some of the small hands or a baby nunchucks. Sorry,
yes. Yeah, baby nunchucks. Yeah, they do not plug in. They are solid, I guess, to kind of counteract some of the last ones. So tell us what you think. Do you think we are lying about these nunchucks, or do you think we're telling the truth? Is this a real thing or not? Maddie just said to ignore everything she was saying. But before that, she said, all I heard was whip it around and hit yourself. So I'm going to guess it was nunchucks. So thanks, Maddie, for that. You did that on your own. And Rain is questioning that as well. USMBU said they were right on the last one, too. SDCMB Youth is on. Hey, Southern District Office, what's going on? So tell us what you think. Are we telling a lie? Are we telling the truth about this item? Maddie Groves says truth. Maddie says we are telling the truth. Wouldn't you like to know? Let us know what you think. Comment. There's 13 of you on, and there's 5 people commenting. Come on, everybody. Chucking nuns is not nice, so I'll say lie, says the Southern District MB Youth. So they say a lie because chucking nuns is not nice. Maddie says that's because I'm just really confused. Sorry, I wasn't here for the whole thing. Well, that is your fault, Maddie. So tell us, are we telling the truth or a lie? Should we reveal?
Let's do it.
Rain says we're lying. I tell you what. These are miniature nunchucks right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have had these in my office for a long time, and you have yet to see these. So if you stop by my office at any given time, Creighton says false, Rain said false, but Carly got it. Carly said truth.
There we go,
this is the truth right here. These are nunchucks, certified dangerous weapon. I do know what these are from. This is from a thrift store in a town called Pink, Oklahoma, down south off of I-35. So this is from a town in Oklahoma called Pink, a thrift store. It was still in the box, might I add. So that was very nice. So I don't swing them around too much because sometimes their screw pops off, and you never want to let a nun off the chain. That sounds terrifying. So, well, we're gonna move on to item number 3. What do you think?
Want to go with this one?
Yeah, let's go with that one.
All right, so I'll start us off. So we have a clear glass bottle. It has a liquid in it. It's, I don't know, yellowish clear. I don't know. How do you describe that color?
Right, yeah, it's like kind of like, that color when a clear drink has somehow gone bad.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I feel like that is the best. Like, that makes no sense, but at the same time, that also makes, like, perfect sense.
It does.
I really feel like that.
Okay, so in the bottle...
Right, this is this is important.
This glass bottle, there is a cobra snake, not alive. It's dead.
I tested. I made sure.
It has, like, beady white eyes. Like, the eyes have glazed over. It's kind of creepy. Kind of feels like it's looking at me.
It is, yeah.
What else do you have on there, DJ?
Yeah, to kind of give you another idea of what this bottle looks like, imagine, like, Listerine or mouthwash.
Oh, yeah.
Those bottles are kind of, but it's smaller, a little. I mean, it's like the vacation size version of the what's the word now? Mouthwash. That's the word. I just couldn't think of that word. Matty Gross says you should make this segment called "We Ain't Calling You a Truther." Shout out to my Drake and Josh fans out there. All right. So does anybody have any questions about this Cobra in a bottle that we supposedly have that's in what the SDC office has called a Mountain Dew liquid? I wouldn't say it's quite Mountain Dew.
No.
Yeah, it's a little more like
a lot watered down Mountain Dew though.
Water, yeah, maybe.
Like if you take a glass of water and Mountain Dew and mix it together.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably the same color.
Yeah, I mean probably pretty close. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And it really does. It kind of looks like it's looking at you there. So comment what you think. Are we telling the truth or are we telling a lie? Are you calling us a liar or are you calling us truthers? As Maddie would say. Rain is very adamant. We are not sitting 6 feet apart, Kyle.
I've included you in my 10 people for quarantine.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. So there you have it, Rain. We have included each other. You're the one who said that we have a bromance. You called it. So
it's true.
You know, that's your fault. You made this happen.
20-second hugs.
So Eric Hannah Bontrager said a lie. Becca says lie. Hey, Becca. How's it going? What do you think? Maddie is calling us a truther.
Okay.
Creighton says lie. We could be lying, but we also could be telling the truth. So let's kind of go over again. Carly called lie. Let's go over again. So we said this is like a Listerine-esque bottle.
Glass.
Yeah. It's filled with some expired-looking liquid water.
Okay.
And there's a cobra on the inside that is staring at you.
With its white beady eyes.
Yes. So okay. So the Southern District Office again. They said truth. Well, let's see, Kyle. You want to hold it up? Let's see if we were lying or telling the truth.
Let's go with it.
We are telling the truth. Can you see? Here, I'll kind of walk it up to the.
Let's see if we can get a better view of that.
Camera a little bit here. Can you? There's a little bit of a glare there. So see if you can get in on the action. You may not be able to tell it's staring at you, but I promise you that it is. And,
I believe the liquid is eating through the plastic bags.
Yes, it's believed that, and we know from past experiences around other parts of the world to not eat that, because it is, well, it's been in a liquid, I suppose.
It has, but they advise, from Thailand.
So Zach Stencil says weed whacker. The Southern District Office called truth. They got it correct. Oh, Nash, you said lie. Come on, you know it's better than that. Maddie says, why do you have to do that? That is gross. What's gross about that? People, eat those things. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Let's do one more here.
You go for it.
Let's see. So we're going to do, this will be, I got to lean down to get it. Excuse me here. Okay, so this item, this is a mask of an artist formerly known as the president. But this president is the current president. No, that's right. He is the current president. And except this mask the hair has been bleached to be and then dyed a different color. So we have a mask of a president that we're assuming is currently the president, and it does have eye holes. And let's see, how else could you?
Yeah, I mean, the features are definitely distinguished.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I would say the features are distinguished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it given this nice frowny, I don't know if it's frowny, but it's like, I don't know, how do you describe that facial expression? It's like, I don't know, it's like a... Is that good enough?
Yeah, I think that was perfect. Yeah, I really think that was really good. Yeah.
All right.
So, hey, if you have any questions about this item, feel free to ask them. We would love to answer some questions about this last item. Maddie says, I feel like they definitely have this because I don't think you could make this up, is what she is saying. So, best of luck, Maddie. Maddie's never been wrong in her whole life, so I would trust her if I were you. Rain is kind of dissing on YouTube Live over here, but that's okay. I'll pick on him later. Well, I could tell some stories about you. Both Kyle and I could tell some stories about you.
Ooh,
But
rain stories?
for the sake of YouTube Live and church, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Nash asked if it was a pirate skull. It is not. Eric says, we agree with Maddie. How do you make this up? How do you make up a mask that, yeah, I agree. Does anyone have any other questions about this item? The hair is really, it's just got a texture to it that I don't know how to.
I don't really want to touch it.
I don't want to. I definitely don't want to put it on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna give a couple more seconds for questions. If some come in at the last second, we will answer them. Remember, Nash asked if it was a pirate skull. Oh no, he asked if this was a pirate skull. I think.
Oh,
I thought he was asking about the mask.
Oh,
Yes, this is a pirate skull. This is my friend Cayman. He's from the islands, and we found him and figured, why not? That was kind of the reason behind why we have that there. And unfortunately, this skull doesn't have much brain left inside. It's got a cut up here. So there's a glass eye in there. Maybe we should have done that for that. Okay, well, this item, remember we said that this is a mask that is a current president, right? And the hair has been dyed,
Correct.
bleached and dyed a different color. It's make that face again. What was the?
I don't even know if I. Okay.
Yeah, that's.
I kind of feel like Chandler right now, smiling.
Yeah.
So, Friends reference. Sorry.
So here we go. So do you think it's truth or a lie? Southern District says lie. They think that is a lie. Well, we said Maddie and the Bontraggers have kind of already said what they think. They think we couldn't even lie about such a thing. So,
Okay. All right.
and the Southern District Youth says hi to Cayman. So everybody say hi to Cayman over here, our little guy. So all right, here we go. And Russ is on. Russ says true.
Oh,
Russ says we are telling the truth. Yeah, thanks for asking about the skull, Nash. Yeah, we just figured, why not? Carly says true. Creighton says lie. Carly says, hi, Russ. So I'll say it again. Hi, Russ. All right, here we go. This is a lie. This is a mask of Richard Nixon right here. I'm kind of tilting it. This is Richard Nixon, believe it or not. I'm not going to. Now it kind of looks like Elvis, I suppose, with its hair like that.
That's true. That's true.
So I guess it's a multi-use Richard Nixon mask. But we were telling a lie. Nash said true. Taryn said lie. You guys, you figured us out. I think kind of some of you. Like I said, I do not want to put this on my head. I feel a little concerned for my safety just holding it. That's especially look at it like that. Is that not kind of uncomfortable?
Yeah, very, very.
Yeah. So sorry I made you guys look at that. That's weird. Okay. Well, Maddie says, why do you have to do that, buddy? That's a little alarming. Okay, well, hey, we are so glad you are here tonight. This is the first time we have ever gone live in the history of Kerner Heights Youth. We are so excited to be here tonight. We're kind of going to do this podcast style. Things are changing in our world quickly, but we are here. We're excited that you're tuned in. There's a lot of you in, and we are so pumped for tonight.
Well, and going on with what's going on in our nation and globe. I mean, the COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic. We have had to change our daily lives considerably, but that doesn't mean that the gospel stops or that church needs to stop. And so, we're just kind of taking this one step at a time. I'm trying to do the right thing here.
Yeah, so for the next few weeks, we don't really know. That's the thing with this pandemic is we don't know how long we're going to be doing this, but this is not a bad thing. Guys, when people say there's that phrase about the church has left the building, it really has, and this is exciting because all you have to do to invite someone to church who's never been before is send them a link. So we're really, really, really excited to be here. You might notice in the comment section there's some instructions. So if you take a picture of yourself watching the live stream or someone takes a picture of you and you post it to Instagram, you tag us or use our hashtag, you can be entered in a drawing for a $10 Amazon card. And Amazon is like the best thing in the world right now because you don't have to leave your door and it can just appear at your doorstep. So you're going to want to make sure you do that. So for the foreseeable future, we're going to be meeting like this on 6:45 every single week on YouTube Live. We're going to do some other stuff. If you were here early, you saw some of the slides that were about You saw some slides that were trivias on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock on our Instagram page. You can also see devotionals there. There's going to be all types of content on our Instagram page, on YouTube Live. We'll have Zoom meeting every once in a while just to keep Rain satisfied. So this week we're wrapping up a series that we've been in since February. It seems like it was a long time ago when we started this series, even though it's only been a 3-week series. It just seems like it's been kind of forever ago. So if you remember, we're in a series called Friends. Right, he's got his mug here. Does anyone feel awkward that there's like a snake like staring at them, and also some nuns staring at them? I'll appease that inside. So, I also want to say before we get into that, feel free to comment and interact with us during the lesson or ask questions. We would love to answer those or to talk with you in the comment section. So make sure to keep interacting, or if you think you want to add a point or something, feel free to do that. So if you remember, we're in this series, and the first week we did this back at the end of February was a lesson called You've Got a Friend in Me, and we said like some famous duos that are best friends, and we asked the question, what kind of friend are you? Are you a friend that's there for people? Are you a friend that are you a friend that meets people where they are? Because friend doesn't just mean the people that you sit with at lunch, right? It means people that you hate, even like Kyle. So that was the first week that we did in our series.
Yeah, so week 2, we DTR part 1, define the relationship. That was one where it was defining our relationship with God, how that relationship defines all our other relationships. And so we were asking the question, what is your relationship with God like? And really analyzing how that relationship really affects all the other relationships we have.
Right, yeah. So this week, like I said, we are wrapping up this series before we move on. And tonight's lesson is called DTR Part 2. So if you remember, DTR means define the relationship. And I kid you not, I just think this is so comical. When I was writing this lesson, this was a while ago when I wrote this lesson. And some of it that you're going to hear is very similar to the workshop I taught at SDYC, if you were there. But the lesson that I was writing about was about how technology has changed everything, about how we communicate with each other and how we relate to the people around us and our friends. And it's kind of funny that now this is what we're doing. This is the new norm for school and for youth group and for kind of everything. We're diving like head on into technology. And so last week we ran with this phrase. We said we're more globally connected than ever before, but yet we're more relationally divided than ever before. I'll say that again. We are more globally connected than ever before. You think about all the social media platforms, and there's 3.499 billion people, individuals that have social media accounts. We're more globally connected than ever before, but we're more relationally divided than we've ever been. Technology has changed the way we interact with our world, and it's not like a fad or a trend. It's not something that's going to pass away. I really believe that technology is not something to protect yourself from, but it's a new way that we should learn to live our lives. Especially now that things are going into this more full force than we've ever seen. And so with this, I believe the age-old question of what would Jesus do is more relevant than it's ever been before. So I want to start with a question that I want you to answer in the comment section, and I'm going to ask Kyle, so this will give, as I'm asking this, you guys interacting can give Kyle some time to think. So this is the question. You agree or disagree? Technology has changed the way that we communicate. Do you agree or disagree that technology has changed the way we communicate? So feel free to write in what your answer is. You can either say you agree or disagree. You can explain that a little bit if you want to type that out. But let us know what you think. Kyle, what do you think? Do you think technology has changed the way we communicate?
Oh, I mean, I think it's completely changed. Just the modes. I mean, in my lifetime, we went from having to call someone and only talk to them. I grew up without email being readily available. So it's completely, it's a new, fresh, and unique way to get to communicate amongst each other who, we could be a couple miles away or, across the world. Right. And so it is drastically changed between this, just in my lifetime alone, just the modes that has changed. I used to pay for individual texts. Wow, I got my first text plan had 300 texts.
That was what mine was.
So when I had somebody that was texting me too much, I was freaking out about it because I had to pay extra.
Right.
And so, but now that's just a common thing. And so I can send a text to anybody.
And can you imagine like not like only being limited to 300 texts now.
Oh my goodness.
Like I think about just today, I have easily sent 300 texts. Like easily, just today. Like that kind of blows my mind that I stayed within that, like those confines of 300 texts. And I know if my mom is watching, because she's been watching everything else, which is totally okay. Love you, Mom. She would totally agree that there were times when I was pretty close to that 300 limit, and they were agreeing. And so, and you guys are too. There's lots of people, Maddie, Nash, the Bontragers, the Lowens, Creighton, Carly, you guys all are saying definitely, totally, you agree that this is the world that we're living in.
Well, and we've even gone a step past that because I think that probably my text today has been like under 50. But again, that 300 was for the month.
Right.
300, man, but we spend most of our time, I see it all the time. Sometimes I even do it, communicating through Snapchat or not even going through the text route. So we're even kind of moving away from that a little bit as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, really think about how, like he said, like, he's done different ways of communicating, and think about how, like, over the last 15 years, like, Facebook has emerged, and there's so many people on Facebook, and it's, like, not even the top social media anymore, and our world has, like, social media specifically has completely taken over our world, completely taken it over.
Well, and just throwing out a few stats, and DJ said that 3.499 billion active social media users a day, and so half the world has an active social media account, which is kind of crazy to think about when you're thinking about just the sheer number of people, and that Facebook. If you just talk about people that are that have active Facebook accounts, it would be the third largest country in the world.
Wow.
And so, actually, and it's 2 times the population of U.S. So, and we have social media hitting us. I mean, the stats go on and on. It talks about how the Pew study showed that most high school students post about accomplishments, family, and feelings, yet only 1 in 10 students ever share anything about their faith on social media. And so we have this huge platform. I mean, clearly, when half the world is using it,
right.
That we have at our fingertips that could be used. We have negative stats, but we have also positive stats like 51% feel more connected to their friends, and just the communication and being able to be creative, and that the stats are out there that we hear a lot of negative social media, but the positive social media can be as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. That kind of makes me wonder another question. So, like, if Jesus was still physically walking on the earth, like he was 2,000 years ago, if he was still physically walking, do you think he would have social media? So I want you guys to answer that question as well, yes or no. Do you think that if Jesus had social media, if Jesus was still walking on the planet today physically and he had social media, do you think he would have it, or do you think that he wouldn't have it? What do you think, Kyle?
Oh, I would have to say yeah. I mean, because of the communication, and because that's a place. Jesus was always showing up in places where the people were.
Yeah.
He was given the preaching to multitudes of people, and so just with the sheer number of people that are available, he's got to be doing it.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. It says someone took their message away. That's okay. Yeah, we're still seeing people agree, and I've asked this question before to some people, and I don't know where I stand still, because it's still like I think he would, and I'm like fairly sure about that, but it's still just kind of weird to think about like Jesus having like I don't know
check.
Twitter, the blue check,
oh, yeah.
like yeah, or all of the there's obviously fake accounts. Nash says yes to help others. Yeah, that's true. Creighton says yup. Bontrager said definitely. Yeah, I mean it's hard to imagine that Jesus wouldn't use something so powerful to help people. Maddie says, I don't think so. Okay, so there's a little bit of a different opinion. She says, I think social media can often be boastful, and I don't think he would have wanted to give that impression. Interesting. He said, I think he would be on it by other people's posts, so people would like take pictures of him or record the miracles, maybe, things like that. But he would not have his own. So that's an interesting point. He wouldn't want to come off as boastful. Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Yeah, so as we just look to see some more posts, I mean, He does. Sarah just talked about that he would like the face to face, and I think that's exact. I mean, it's perfectly true. I mean,
Sure.
like exactly. Jesus was all about seeing him face to face, but and he would definitely relish in those moments because he'd be interacting where the people are as well. But he was present, and so he could have been doing that as well.
Yeah.
One of the things that and we're trying to get is get to through this just this YouTube live is if we don't know if or how Jesus would use it, because he obviously didn't have that technology during the time he was on earth, we won't know how to really use technology and the social media idea in a God-honoring way.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And I got to say, though, I think that if Jesus were using social media, I got a strong feeling. Of course, I have a bias, but I have a strong feeling that Jesus would be an Apple guy. I'm pretty sure. I mean, not just because I have the iPhone and the watch and the pods and the laptop. I mean, I not just don't want to brag or anything, but I feel like Jesus would be an Apple guy.
Well, but I mean, either way, I mean, he's an Android or an Apple, right?
Right.
Tonight we're going to look at it. We're going to look at like how would Jesus use it, and if Jesus was using it, then how could we? Because we're Jesus followers. We want to model our lives, and so it's kind of an interesting thought to follow him. How he would act on social media, since we didn't have that example in the Bible.
Right.
Although that would be kind of a cool way to read the Bible, the tweet version. I don't know. It could be interesting.
Right. Yeah. So tonight what we're going to do is we want to give you 4 points of ways that we kind of think that if Jesus did have social media, 4 ways that he might use it. So the first point that we're going to look at tonight, we want you to take this with you. The first one we're going to look at tonight is this: that we think if Jesus had social media. By the way, Nash just said, "Is that Diet Coke?" And you bet. I can't get away
Don't
from
go anywhere
that one,
without it, right?
So anyway, the first point is this: that Jesus would follow and share and like and interact with a lot of people who weren't Christians.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you saw, just reading the Bible, reading some stories, he regularly hung out with the people that were frowned upon, the prostitutes, the tax collectors. He was intentional. He would go out and find opportunities to interact with these people. He did spend a lot of time with his 12 disciples, but he would extend that circle.
Yeah.
Right, to go beyond. He came to call the sinner. He didn't come just for the people that are doing the right thing. The righteous is how the Bible puts it.
Yeah.
So if Jesus were on social media, he would probably share, retweet comments that were left that would be posted by the sinner.
Yeah.
Right. He might not be posting, and I'm sure he would retweet the things that would be for the righteous person, but he would probably like some of those tweets that the righteous would have a problem with.
Oh yeah.
Those things like when you see something, you're like, but do you know him?
Right.
Have you seen what he posted?
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like if there was like some dialogue, if people were talking around coffee at a coffee shop or something on a Tuesday morning or a Wednesday evening, best night of the week, just saying, you'd hear maybe these little conversations from people. You'd hear things like, man, can you believe that Jesus liked Joe Biden's tweet?
Yeah.
Like, can you believe that? Like, I thought all Christians were Republican. You might hear something like, did you see that Jesus liked this person's post or this person's post? And see, this is the thing, that Jesus would never exist in an echo chamber. And I'll kind of describe what that is. An echo chamber is like, it's like an echo. So you shout something and then you just hear affirmations the whole time. So Jesus would never exist somewhere to just feed his ego, kind of. Yeah. If he did, he wouldn't see his world as his mission field. And I'm really convinced that the exact same is true for us. Guys, this is one of my favorite things. I'll tell you, I majored in social media and in communications and these things, and I truly, firmly, completely, 100% believe that our social media platforms are our biggest mission field. I really, truly believe that. Like the homepage, the For You page, Snap Stories, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of them, TikTok, it's all a mission field, and I'm convinced that Jesus would see it the exact same way on his profiles. John 13:34 and 35. We referenced that verse last not last week, 2 weeks ago, we referenced that verse, and it just says if you love, people will know that you're mine if you love one another. Just love one another the way I love you. Just love one another. He tells us that people will know that we're his if we love people. And if people look at your profile, or like you look at someone else's profile, like, do they see that you have love for that person? And, being a good person or doing what's right, following Jesus, that has nothing to do with love, or it has nothing to do with love, doing what's right. It has nothing to do with it. What really matters is whose you are, not who you are. And so, like, with love and all these things, like in our society today, there's this idea that, like, Republicans are Christians and Democrats are not, or that somebody who believes in something else means that we should block them, or someone who lives differently than we do, maybe, or dates differently than we do, or just does things differently than we do, that we should, like, block them from our social media because it's going to have a bad influence. And while it can do that, I don't think that's the truth. I think Jesus would love and engage people with different beliefs. And if we're not engaging people who think differently than us, then what is our purpose? Like, are we just here to save the saved? Another way that I think that Jesus would use social media is that he would use it for far more than just, like, posting a Bible verse. I really think he would use it for a lot more than just like sharing a Bible verse in the bio or something like that.
Well, and you see that all the time, like the, I don't know, almost sadly true. You'll see a Bible verse posted, and the next post, well, it might be in the bio that you see that you have to click on and go look for, but sometimes I'm seeing that Bible verse being posted, and then right below being like, wait, what?
Right.
Like that those two things, that Bible verse and that post, don't seem to be cohesive. That they might even speak against it, or it just makes you question. And I don't know if Jesus, although he would definitely be speaking the truth and be posting Bible verses, but that would not be his only way of getting his message out.
Right.
And so he wouldn't be wouldn't be limited to his profile, wouldn't be limited to just the Bible verses. Although if he was probably saying it, it's probably going in, right?
Right.
I mean, that's just something that came to me like, oh yeah, well it's going to be red lettered later.
Right.
But Jesus would use his platform to show a complete picture. And so how does that look? How does that, would he post about the things and the places that he's gone, or funny moments, or questions that kind of get you going, and start to, like, I don't know, just kind of fire people up a little bit and kind of get them thinking. And, as you think about that, I think we have a very narrow view of what God or Jesus would use this platform for. He would celebrate the funny. I think Jesus could be like the king of memes. I don't know,
for sure.
Like,
no, I see that totally.
Like,
yeah.
So and again, I'm just thinking, he's hilarious. I mean, you start looking around the world, you find numerous examples. Using a donkey's rear end to speak to somebody. Right. And to get someone's attention and say, hey, wake up. And so he went to these public gatherings. He was at parties. And that if you are a Christian, it doesn't mean that you are only Bible verse.
Right.
Like, and you need to show them, we can show them that bigger picture of what the Christian life, what God is really like, what the joy living through us can look like. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, another way that I see Jesus using social media, guys, this is my favorite one by far. I talk about this one a lot when I talk on this subject, and I really do love this point. I think that Jesus would intentionally disengage from social media and technology to engage with his Father, with God. Like, there's lots of examples where Jesus spent nights alone, or where Jesus would, like, wake up early in the morning and go to, like, a secluded place or a garden and just spend time in the presence of God. And I don't think Jesus would be any different on social media. Like, he wouldn't feel obligated to respond to every post or comment promptly. He wouldn't allow his online presence to distract him from the presence of God. And where we're spending our time shapes how we respond to the world. And so, like, it kind of makes you wonder, like, why did Jesus allow the Pharisees to spit in his face when he could have, like, turned him to salt or, like, sent him to space or whatever the super cool powers that Jesus had could have done. But, like, it kind of makes you wonder. But he didn't have anything to prove to him. He was simply there to draw the world to himself, not to show the world, not to show the Pharisees who their daddy was. Like, literally, like, he wasn't there for that. And what we allow into our heart, determines who we become. And so if we're more eager to, check our social media in the morning than open our Bibles, or if it's the last thing you check, and I want to tell you right off the bat that this is one that I really actually struggle with. And I've said before that I try to make an effort on it, and it's one of those things where it's one of those classic things where you're like, I'm going to read the Bible from cover to cover. And you start, and then you get to, like, Genesis 2, and then you kind of stop. But it's one of those things that, like, I really struggle with. Like, the first thing I look at after my alarm goes off is my phone. I check my social media, and the last thing I do before night is I check my email or make sure. I don't do it consciously, but I kind of subconsciously do think, like, oh, I need to make sure that I like that comment so they know that I saw it. And I really live like that, and I really want to be more intentional about disengaging from social media. Because, see, Jesus wouldn't allow social media to control him. He wouldn't compare his life to others, and we shouldn't either. We see examples all over in Scripture in Matthew 14:23, and Mark 6:46, Luke 6:12, Mark 1:35, Luke 5:16, and other verses that would show us that after, like, the craziness of life, and after Jesus would do miracles or all of these different things, he would go spend time with God, with his Father. And we see that often in Scripture. We see that Jesus would disengage from the craziness of life. He would intentionally disengage from life to spend time with God. And it kind of makes me wonder, if Jesus, like, who was literally God, took time to pray, how can we kind of see it as something to kind of put on the back burner?
Yeah. Something that just to comment on something that Becca said. She actually said that she thinks that he would use it only to spread the word of God. And I think that just to kind of address that, I think that when we're talking about spreading the word of God, like, it's also offering an example of how a Christ-filled life looks like. It's not, and again, I don't think that Jesus, I go back to, I don't think Jesus would be doing this to impress about a pride thing, but say, hey, it's not always, it's not photoshopping his face to,
Right.
look the right way, but that he would use every opportunity to show this lifestyle. What does it look
Right.
like? And that's what I think, that when we start saying, like, he wouldn't just post Bible verses, what I think he would do is he would also give him his funny, his memes would all be pointing back to God. It'd be bringing things to be true. But another one is to live in the moment. Not DJ, get off your phone.
Sorry, I just wanted to remember this moment. I really enjoying.
DJ, the problem, though, is that I don't think DJ would be selfieing the whole time. I've been to many concerts where they're all holding their phones up, but they're not living in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that although Jesus might say, hey, I'm here,
Right.
although, he had a following, probably other people posting, hey, he's here. But the idea is that we are at these weddings, graduations, concerts, and what do we see? We see living that moment through your phone.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at it. 18,000 Snapchats of whatever country concert you're currently at, right? And although that in itself isn't horrible, I think God and Jesus, when he would have it, would set the phone down and live with the people that he's with, because someone commented that he would be in that face-to-face.
Yeah.
And I think that's where this comes in, is that face-to-face with these people, he would relish that. It's those intimate moments that he would never use social media to share those intimate moments. He would have those intimate moments.
Yeah.
That in fact, he often told people not to tell him. tell about what just happened.
Yeah.
I just healed you of blindness. Don't tell anybody.
Right.
He would leave those intimate moments amongst the people that he was experiencing life with.
Yeah.
And so with what we do when we're posting everything, we're kind of losing that intimacy.
Right.
That mystery that God had. Jesus, there was always this sense of wonder around him. It followed him wherever he went.
Right.
That mystery of even what is he going to do next? What can he do? This. It just followed him. And if we are sharing absolutely everything, those intimate moments kind of lose their intimacy.
Yeah.
And so if we're busy capturing life on a camera, or in 140 characters
right.
or less,
right.
that we don't enjoy it to the full.
Yeah. So, guys, those were 4 points that we feel like how Jesus would use social media if he had it, which, again, is kind of weird to think about. But overall, like tonight with this message, we're not going to ask you to only post Bible verses or to just fill your bio with it, or we're not going to ask you to, Bible thump people, or we're not going to ask you to evangelize people from the rooftop. We don't even want you to delete all your social media. We simply want you to use technology for God-honoring relationships.
Oh, yeah. And as we wrap up this series, and we're talking about the pure relationships, which kind of seems a little, we're talking about the relationship, and for a lot of us, that relationship isn't face-to-face.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives us a different thing. So we want to think about these questions. What kind of friend are you? Are you a friend that is available, has compassion, meets other people where they're at? I know those are three things that, especially in the digital age, is very hard to be available. We are available,
right.
but to have compassion, to meet people where they are, and finding ways in the using the devices that we're using. How does that look in that question?
Right. Yeah. The next question we want to leave you with tonight comes from our second week. So, what does your relationship with God look like right now? Remember, we had a figure a couple weeks ago that we could kind of point out, but now everything has kind of changed since we last asked that question. With the COVID-19 making our world kind of insane, I think would be a good word to use. Everything has changed, and so we want to ask this question again. Maybe you were let down, or you're sad, or you're just really kind of depressed. You're hurting about what's been happening with this. What have your conversations with God looked like lately? With the world so different than it was 2 weeks ago, even. What is your conversation, your dialogue? What does that look like with God? And now, lastly, the question we're leaving you with tonight is, now that everything will be done online, or kind of so it seems, how can you use technology to point people to Jesus, to have God-honoring relationships?
Yeah, I mean, we keep seeing it, and because the technology in our world has become so elevated, how we're communicating with people, they are super powerful in creating and maintaining relationships.
Yeah.
I have a sister that's living in England, and because of technology, we can still have what is face-to-face as we can get.
Yeah.
But it's so powerful in maintaining that relationship. Just look at the show that you talked about, the 90-day fiance.
Oh man,
it's just crazy.
Oh yeah, no, the people date for 7 years using just social media, and FaceTime is just crazy. Well, tonight, guys, I want to leave you with this verse. This is from Psalm 17:17, and this is in the Passion Translation. It says this: "A dear friend will love you no matter what, and a family sticks together through all kinds of trouble." Life might feel really different right now than you kind of anticipated it ever would. I can't imagine being in school or college or wherever and having part of my experience stripped away. I mean, I really can't imagine. And we aren't gathered like we normally are tonight, and our small groups won't be the same. Things are different. But I want you to know, we want you to know as your leaders, as your friend, brothers and sisters in Christ, guys, we love you, and we care so deeply for you, and we are in this with you, even though we're not going to physically be together. We're here to talk and to just hurt with you, We're here to have fun with you, whether that's doing trivia on Mondays and Thursdays at 7, and me running the trivia and still getting some of the answers wrong. So still, shout out to the Lawlers. Sorry about that one there. But we're still doing life together, and we're friends. And no matter what, a dear friend will love you, no matter what. And we're a family, and family sticks together through all kinds of trouble. And right now there's like a lot of trouble in our world, it feels like. But guys, we're a family. We're friends. We love you. We're here for you. We're always available to talk to you. And we want you to know that tonight.
Yeah, and like I said, we appreciate you taking some time. Don't forget trivia tomorrow. What, 7
o'clock on Instagram, yeah.
And we can't wait for next week. Like I said, the new series will be called Kingdom Talk. And so we can't wait for that. And like I said, this is new to everybody. It's new to you. Yeah. It's new to me. Just trying to sift through life and start to figure these things out.
Yeah. So I want to thank Kyle for coming in. Thanks for being here. We will see you next week, same time, same place. I'll send the links out. It's going to be awesome. Like Kyle said, we're starting our new series. We will see you next week.